Hi, welcome to week 2 of the 30-day health reset at www.30dayhealthreset.com. I'm Catherine, and I hope you've had fun with week 1 and are chomping at the bit to get started with week 2. What to talk about today? Well, last week we talked about being okay with not being okay. We talked about creating space. We talked about letting go of the resistance of what is, where you're at right now. So hopefully you've spent a bit of time mulling that over, thinking about it, chewing on it, digesting it, letting yourself become familiar with what makes you feel good, what makes you not feel good. Hopefully you've taken a little bit of time to also think about the concept of what you have believed the problem to be has really been your solution to managing, overcoming, avoiding, distracting yourself from an underlying problem. That's what we talked about in week 1. So hopefully you spend a bit of time with that so that we can move forward in a fruitful way, in a way that's going to enrich and build for you. Today I want to talk about weight loss, losing weight. Such a bad philosophy. Totally wrong NLP. Who here? Let me see. I know this is a pre-recorded thing, but I'm going to have a bit of fun here. Show me your hands. Who wants to lose? Nada. Nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to lose anything. We never want to lose. Losing means failing. Losing means not being good enough. Losing means rejection. Losing means not being the best. Losing means fill in the blank. No one wants to lose. It's a bad choice of words. We all want to win. We all want to have success. We all want to feel good about who we are. We all want to take a sense of pride and accomplishment in the things that we do and achieve and set out to be, and etc. Losing. Bleh. We want to lose that word from your vernacular, from your vocabulary. We want to replace it. What we want to do is release. We want to release old ways of being. We want to release old unhelpful patterns and programs. We want to release old coping strategies and support mechanisms that were seemingly helpful at one point and replace them, reset them, reinvent them with things that are more in alignment with who we desire to become. And if you want to get on a bit of a fad thing, more with our authentic self, more with our true innate being. We want to replace them, reinvent them, reset them. Okay? This isn't about losing anymore. We need to let go of that because it comes with negative connotations. Losing is moving away from something. Okay? So that brings me to, there's only 2 directions we can go. I always get when I use words because they're not exactly accurate, but just for argument's sake, there's only 2 directions we can go. We're either moving away from what makes us feel bad, or we're moving towards what makes us feel good. When you're losing, when you're losing fat, when you're losing weight, when you're losing pounds and kilos, or when you're losing dress sizes, you're moving away from what you perceive to have been making you feel bad. You're moving away. You're trying to move away from the fat and ugly. You're trying to move away from the self-hate. You're trying to move away from the loathing, the self-loathing, and the depression and the anxiety. You're trying to move away from the bullying at school. You're trying to move away from the relationships that have made you feel unlovable. You're trying to move away from the belief systems about who you think you are and what experiences you've had in this life, in this body as a result of that. Let's just imagine for a moment that you're driving in a car, in a vehicle, and you're moving away. Your focus, your attention is on moving away. Okay? So you've got your hands at the steering wheel, you're sitting there in the driver's seat, and your focus is on moving away from whatever demons are back there. You've got your eyes in the rearview mirror, and you've got your head over your shoulder looking in your blind spot to make sure nobody's catching up. You're here, like as in the mirror here, or you're back here. There's nowhere in that scope, in that line of vision, for where you're going, for what you're moving towards, for what is right in front of you. And for those of you who are drivers, whether you bikes or cars or anything else, even horses, my kids ride horses, and I watched my kids try and steer a horse when they were looking over their shoulder, and guess where the horse went? When you drive a car, it takes practice and skill to learn to be able to merge lanes, change lanes, and look over your shoulder without instantly doing that. You need to keep your eyes on where you're going, otherwise you're going to steer your vehicle in that direction. You're going to steer your horse, your bike, your whatever it is that you're driving, your body, your beliefs, your emotions. You're going to keep steering it back to what your attention is focused on. We want to stop focusing on what we don't want, where we don't want to be, and how we don't want life to look. And we need to bring it and reshape it and focus it, reset it to who do I want to be? Where would I like to go? How might that look for me? What may I have to do to make that happen? How will it feel when I get there? Those are the things that we need to bring our attention to. And do you know what? Sometimes that shift has to start with one thing. Because you know what? When you're so bogged down and clouded and heavy and weighted and stuck with who you don't want to be, I don't want to be fat, I don't want to be ugly, I don't want to hate myself anymore, I don't want to miss out, I don't want to be the token fat girl, I don't like, I hate, we forget, we lose sight, we can't find anything to focus on that's going to take us closer towards where we want to be. So what we might have to do is start small again, like last video, like last week we talked about finding one thing that makes you feel good. And it's not about saying, I want to feel good and be a size 8. I want to feel good and be 60 kilos. I want to feel good and be 25 pounds lighter. I want to feel good right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week or when. I'll feel good. I'll like myself when. Because that when is setting the bar too high, too far. There's too much space between where you're at now and where you want to be. So we need to focus on something smaller than even the milestone goal of where you want to get to. We need to focus on what makes you feel good right now and take a step towards that. Do you know, like as a busy mother and a wife and a coach and all the things I do in a day, I don't often, when I went to make these videos, I thought makeup, no makeup, pretty clothes, no pretty clothes. Like, how am I going to do this? Who do I want to be? What face am I going to present to you guys? What professionalism am I going to bring to the table? And the truth of it is, I'm just like you know, like there's nothing different between you and me. I don't wear makeup most days. I often don't do my hair other than a ponytail most days. And you know, high heels, it doesn't work in my world. I'm constantly running around doing kids. I live on 40 acres, all the stuff. So what I did was I compromised. You know, it's cold, it's wet, it's raining outside. I've got my sweat jacket on. I've got a nice cobalt blue thing underneath, and I did a bit of makeup and I blow dried my hair for you. But the reality of it is, I did just enough to make myself feel good without being uncomfortable and putting myself in a place of setting the bar too high. Because I can't maintain that bar indefinitely. I was never very good in the corporate world because wearing a suit every day and being the corporate girl, it was too much. It was too hard. It was too out of my comfort zone. And out of 5 days of the week, you might be able to get me in a suit 3 days. The other days I'd wear really neat casual. What we want to do is bring it down so that you can do what is manageable and do what is comfortable when it comes to finding things that make you feel good. Right? I really like the color of my eyes. I've got hazel eyes. They change color depending on my mood. Sometimes they're a bit blue, sometimes they're a bit brown. But I also really like the way I did my eyeshadow. It accentuates my eyes. I found that as a small thing. You know, when I look in the mirror, I might not like everything I see. I might still have, and I do, and might is not the right word. I still have some things where I go, you know, there's a place for us to work on, Catherine. That's not something I'm feeling very good about today, but 9 times out of 10, if I stop and look in the mirror, I can always find a place of appreciation for the color of my eyes. And I look in there and I look at who I am through my eyes. You know, I'm not only seeing out them, but I'm seeing back in at myself when I look at my eyes. And I have found a place of being comfortable and appreciative of that. And so, you know, the 5 or 10 kilos I might want to release off of my legs or my belly or my whatever, I bring it back to my eyes and say, I really love the color of my eyes and I'm willing to learn to love the rest of my body. And I'm really willing to learn to find good things about my body. And so then when I start to get down on myself, when I start to get hard and critical and judgmental, sometimes bringing it back to, I've had 3 babies and my body, who knows what it would have been like without babies. It doesn't really matter, but the point of it is my body is the way it is, and I've had 3 babies, and you know what, I'm actually not so bad. And you know what, even if I think I am bad, my body's amazing. I've carried life inside of me. And you know what, my legs, all right, so my legs rub together, my thighs chafe. My daughter is as skinny as a beanpole and she's an athletics runner and she still wears bicycle shorts to run in because her legs chafe. And her legs are as thin as anything. And it's like, that reality, that awareness brings me back to, I have legs and they work. And they walk me through this life. And they are strong. And I am grateful for that. Because without my legs, I would be in a wheelchair. Without my legs, I would have to find a different way. Without my legs, life could be more challenging. And you know, my arms, I generally don't have an issue with my arms, but for people who do, it's like, you know, you've got to look at it. All right, so you've got saggy daggy bits, you've got bits wobbling and jelly this and that and flabby bits. But what would life be like without your arms? For those of you who have children, would you be able to hug your babies? Would you be able to cuddle them when they are sad? Would you be able to help them? Would you be able to brush your daughter's hair and do her hair when she's got a special day? And for your sons, would you be able to just have the hands to brush their hair away and stroke their head and kiss them when they need it? It's bringing it back to simple basics right here, right now. Learning to love your body, learning to appreciate it for the purpose that it serves. The purpose of your body is to experience life through a physical expression. This is your physical expression. This is your physical expression. How can you thrive? How can you grow? How can you open your heart up to allowing yourself to receive all the wonderful gifts of love and kindness and magnificence that the world has to offer you if you're constantly shutting yourself down and wilting and withering your body? You can't. So taking this moment, taking this first step of finding something good. Imagine what life would be like with no toes. Your balance would be pretty poor. You'd have to redefine and realign and reset your point of gravity, your point of balance, and all your navigation, the internal navigation that you have, all the senses within you, you would have to reset and realign to keep your balance if you had no toes. Not impossible, but totally inconvenient in the interim. Imagine if you had no knees, for those of you who hate knees. It would be incredibly hard to run, to bend down, to walk, to drive the car, to go upstairs, to sit down without being able to bend your knees. Oh my goodness, has anybody tried it? Find appreciation for your knees, your knobbly, lumpy, bumpy knees. Your thighs, that's what your lap is, right? Your quads and your hamstrings. That's a place that your babies crawl up onto and snuggle with you, and you read bedtime stories to them while they're on your lap, and you sit down and watch the television together. If you didn't have those amazing thighs, where would your babies crawl up and nestle into? And your jelly belly? You know, these are all places of creating memories and giving life and having strength. And it doesn't matter about the packaging. Like, we're comparing ourselves to airbrushed, photoshopped, glamorized, totally and utterly annihilated physical form. Like, I'm saying there's something wrong with us. Finding a place, if you cannot look in the mirror, if you cannot stand there, clothes on or clothes off, and find one thing about your body that you like, that you love, that you feel affection for, that you feel pleased to have, you need to bring it back to basics. You need to say, if I didn't have that, what would my life be like? Honestly, if I can't have it the way it is and I had to have nothing, you know, no tweaks, no changes, no little bits of liposuction here or nips and tucks, if it was this or nothing, what would you choose? And why would you choose it? This is where the attitude of gratitude plays a really important role. Starting to become humble, bringing yourself back to, this is my vehicle in life, and if I hate it, I'm not doing myself any favors. It doesn't matter what the outside world says about me. It doesn't what my parents think about me. It doesn't matter who bullied me at school. It doesn't matter what my husband thinks about me or my wife. It doesn't matter one little bit. If I cannot find some level of gratitude and respect for the car that is my body in this life, then there's a lot of deep soul searching that has to go on. But you know, I put to you, you don't like your flabby arms? Imagine life without them. Like, really imagine life without them. Would you choose your flabby arms over no arms? Most people would. So, tapping. Let's bring a little bit of tapping into this. What are we going to tap on? I really hate my flabby arms. I really hate my jelly belly. I really hate my wobbly thighs that rub together. I really feel miserable because I have these things. I really can't see any joy in my body, in my life, because I have these things. But if I had no belly, if I was just a neck and a butt jammed together with some legs hanging off, there would be no babies. If I had no arms, I wouldn't be able to hold those babies. If I had no thighs, I'd have no lap for those babies to crawl up onto. If I didn't have a neck, double chins and all, what would my head sit on? I'd look like some rugby player. I'm willing to start at the beginning. I'm willing to find gratitude for what I have. I'm willing to stop wishing for something other than what I have. I'm willing to learn to see the gift in my life as it is right now. I'm willing to learn to love myself in better ways, even though it may be hard for me at first. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to let go of the pain, the shame, the guilt, the blame, the hurt, the suffering, the resentment, the rejection, the jealousy, the self-loathing, feeling unlovable, unlikable, and everything else. I'm willing to let it go. I'm willing to learn to love myself in better ways. And just grab your wrist, look up at the ceiling and think about your happy place, the beach, the park, the pets, the kids, the day they were born, snuggling, cuddling, reading a book, whatever it may be for you, and say peace. Finding appreciation for your body, finding appreciation for the purpose of your body, your physical expression in this life, for being able to work with those things each and every day. And when you get down on yourself, bringing yourself back. Even though I'm having these feelings of anger and resentment about who I am and my body, I'm willing to remind myself that without my flabby arms, I would never be able to hug my kids or hug my lover or hug my mum. If you don't have children, like, hugs, everybody needs to be hugged. Everybody needs to be touched. If you didn't have your arms, you would never be able to give a hug to the people that you loved. Your arms are amazing. Your hands are on the end of your arms. Driving a car would be near impossible without your hands. Typing on the computer, writing a letter, drawing, painting, riding a horse, riding a bicycle, you name it. You'd have to relearn how to do everything. I'm willing to love what I have just the way it is right now in this moment, no matter how long it takes me. I'm willing to reset and retrain my brain. I'm willing to embrace the negative emotions that I've been carrying all my life and let go of the resistance to those negative emotions so that I may have peace. Because that's what you actually really want. That's what I say. That's what I actually want. I want peace. I want joy. I give myself permission to have peace and joy. Oh, stormy weather on the beach. I love it. Good. Now I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think how I started this video, and I can't actually remember. I can't remember exactly how I started it, but something to do with weight loss. That's right, weight loss, pushing it away, losing, deprivation. It's not what you want to do. It's about rewiring, resetting, retraining, reprogramming, repatterning, new habits, new thoughts. And what I want to say to you is, don't be fooled and think that this is going to be easy. Simple. It's simple. It's a simple thing. Choosing a positive, moving towards thought, moving towards emotion, moving towards outcome versus same old same, negative, don't want, don't like, blah, 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 blah. It's a simple concept. It takes commitment and dedication. It takes practice. And there'll be times where you slip and there'll be times where you're up and everything, you've just got to ride that wave. When you start falling, when you start sliding, you just say, oh, wow, here we go again. I'm on the downward spiral. I wonder what's going on for me? Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling angry? Do you know what? I'm feeling disconnected. I'm feeling unlovable right now. There's something about me that's coming up that's telling me that the world around me is rejecting me. I feel rejected. I feel like I don't belong. I feel like I'm not good enough. Okay. It's okay to be okay with that. It's okay to not be okay, like as in video 1. Oh wow, I'm hating on my body again. I'm hating my arms again. I'm flabby, flabby, flabby. Wow, it's okay that I want to hate on myself right now. Build on it. Be okay with not being okay all of the time, because this level of pressure that the world has put on us is saying we have to be okay, we have to be perfect, we have to achieve, we have to have this level of success. This is what success looks like, right? It looks like, oh, this is such a bad analogy, but it's like the Kardashians is what comes to mind. But you know what? They are the epitome of yo-yo diets and unhappiness and disconnectedness and everything fad. It's like even the rich and famous, even the celebrities, even the people who have all the money in the world and all the resources and all the stuff, access to all the information, they still ride this wave. Okay? Sometimes they're up and sometimes they're down. Don't think that there's something wrong with you and you're the only one. We're all doing this together. We're all riding this human wave together. We're all wanting to bring ourselves back to a place of peace. And every single dysfunctional thing that we have engaged in has been on some level a crazy mixed up methodology that seemed to make sense at the time about how to create peace for ourselves. My mum used to make chocolate cake, and it was such a happy time, and she'd give us chocolate cake and it had sprinkles on top and this, and I miss my mum, so I'm craving chocolate cake. It's a crazy mixed up dysfunctional thing, but just know that if you have to eat the chocolate cake, eat the chocolate cake. And the name of the game is, why are you drawn to that? What is it about that chocolate cake that you're hungry for? my mum. I'm missing my sister. When I had a bad day at work, I sat after work with my mum and we sat down and had wine and cheese and we sat on the front porch and it was a beautiful afternoon and she talked to me and helped me and do you know I could really go a wine right now? Well, my nan used to take me out for ice cream on Sundays and then she'd take me home and we'd bake bread and then for dinner we'd have spaghetti. And oh, I love ice cream and warm bread and spaghetti. And I miss my nan. I love how safe I feel with her. Can you see how everything that you have been trying to resist and push away and say is the problem actually stimulates and generates pleasure and joy and safety and love? And so, you know, this is what we're hungry for. This is what we're craving. This is what we need. And to be able to look at our bodies and reset the patterns and the programs of what nurturing, what love, what safety is. It's not bread and pasta. It's not wine. It's not cheese. It's people. It's places. It's actions. It's things that we do. And so you can recreate that. You can embody that, but it has to start here. It's about gaining, right? At the beginning of this video, I was talking to you about weight loss and how that's a really poor choice of words. It's not about what you want to lose. It's not about what you want to lose anymore. It's about what do you want to gain. I want to gain the ability to feel safe any time of day or night, no matter where I am or whatever's happening. I want to gain the ability to be able to generate love within myself to the point where I'm feeling bliss or euphoria or joy or contentment. I want to be able to feel like I'm in the driver's seat of my life again. This is what we're working towards. We're working towards gaining. And I should have explained that at the beginning, but it's not about weight loss, it's about weight gain. Not weight gain, it's about gaining quality of life, gaining self-control. It's about gaining connectedness, gaining belonging, gaining safety, gaining love, and generating that from within. And all these little fragmented parts and pieces that the mind has somehow mixed up, food and behavior and people, and mashed it all together and then made food and body, and it's crazy. So let's just end with a short round of tapping on saying, I am not my body. I am so much more than that. I am not the fat in my body. I am so much more than that. I am not my thunder thighs. I am so much more than that. I am not my bulging butt. I am so much more than that. I am not my jelly belly. I am so much more than that. Cheese is not love. Spending time with my mum is love. Ice cream is not happiness. Being with my nan is happiness. Spaghetti is not comfort. Cooking with my nan and eating what we cooked together, being with my nan and sharing food with my nan is comfort. Chocolate cake is not happiness. My mum making me chocolate cake made me feel happy. I'm willing to change my perspective. I'm willing to learn myself. I'm willing to learn to love myself in better ways. I'm willing to let go of needing to lose, and I'm willing to embrace what I might be able to gain. Breathe in, breathe out. Think of your happy place and say peace. Ta-da! Now I just want you to know I don't script my videos. Everything is off my head, and I try to keep it as succinct as possible for you. I haven't got any notes. I just want you to start to realize that your relationship with your body and food is not just about weight loss. It's not about that being the problem. It's so much more than that. And if all I can do is just plant a seed for you, food for thought in your mind that you can chew on, digest, mull over, and poop out whatever you don't need, that's my gift to you. Okay? Lots of love.